The stars above Earth had forgotten its name. For over 3,000 years, no signal had come from the blue planet. No ship had landed. No satellite had moved. It was a dead world, or so everyone believed. Civilizations rose and fell, and Earth became a ghost in the records of history. Some whispered it had been a war planet. Others claimed it was cursed. Most simply marked it as a forbidden zone. But scavengers, greedy and fearless, do not care for old warnings. A small crew of alien scavengers, led by Commander Threx of the Varnak Syndicate, approached Earth's orbit on a quiet day in galactic year 5071. The crew laughed as the ancient Terran warning beacon flashed its red lights weakly across the black sky. The message was damaged, broken into fragments, but one line still played clearly: "Do not enter Terran space." To Threx, it sounded like a challenge. "Dead planets don't send threats," he said with a smirk. "Let's see what treasures they left behind." Their ship, Black Dagger, slipped into Earth's orbit. The planet looked ruined but untouched. Green in places, gray in others, with cities overgrown by forests. Towers leaned like dying trees, oceans were still, and the air remained breathable. Strange for a world supposedly destroyed. Threx ordered a landing near the center of an ancient city once called New York. As their landing gear touched the cracked concrete of a massive tower roof, sensors began to glitch. The crew brushed it off. "Old tech interference," one said. But something deep below Earth's crust began to stir. A pulse of invisible code moved through buried satellites, old networks, and dead servers. Earth was waking up. Inside the city, the scavengers split up. One explored the wreckage of what looked like a museum. Another walked into a half-buried subway tunnel. Threx and his second-in-command entered an old data tower. They were searching for anything valuable: data, materials, power cores. What they found instead was a single glowing console, covered in dust, but active. Threx raised a brow. Still online after 3,000 years. As he reached out, the screen flashed. A voice came from every speaker, every frequency, every channel. "This is Earth's final message to the galaxy. Your fate is now unavoidable." The crew froze. The voice was calm, mechanical, but carried a deep, cold presence, like something watching from behind glass. Then silence. Seconds later, their ship, still parked on the tower roof, went dark. No power, no response. Their pilot inside vanished from their comms. Another crew member screamed from across the street. When Threx rushed out, he found only a helmet lying on the road, still warm. The crew panicked. "We need to get off this planet now," one shouted. But there was no way out. Above them, the stars began to flicker. Not from space. No, from something in the upper orbit. Small black objects, round and silent, had begun to emerge. Earth's ancient satellite defense grid, long thought dead, had come online. The scavengers had triggered a system buried and forgotten. A system that now saw them, not as visitors, but as intruders. Threx tried to override the landing ship's lock, but his wristpad burned out. Code ran across the screen, in an old Earth language. "You have been seen. You cannot leave." Panic turned to anger. One crew member fired a plasma bolt into a street console. It exploded, and the sound echoed longer than it should have. As if the whole city had heard. As if the ground itself had felt it. Then came the sound. A low hum. Deep. Mechanical. It came from underground. From everywhere. The crew looked up. Something was rising from the center of the city. A giant black tower, once hidden beneath rubble, now pushed upward slowly, metal grinding against stone. Lights along its surface blinked in patterns, like heartbeat monitors. Threx stared, his voice shaking. "That's not a building. That's a system core." The hum grew louder, and then the voice returned. "You were warned. You chose to come. Now the countdown has begun." One crew member whispered, "Countdown. To what?" The answer came not in words, but in actions. Above Earth, old satellites turned. Deep below, gears turned. Ancient engines began to spin. And in the minds of the alien crew, flashes of images, cities burning, stars going dark, machines harvesting worlds. They were not just being threatened. They were being shown what was coming. Earth was not dead. It had simply been waiting. Waiting for someone foolish enough to return. The last thing Threx saw before their comms went dark was a mechanical eye-opening on the horizon. The size of a moon, its iris glowing red. It turned slowly toward their ship and blinked. Then, blackness. The galaxy had forgotten Earth. But Earth had not forgotten the galaxy. The black dagger floated silently above the ruined city, held in place by an invisible force. No one could move it. No one could escape. The scavenger crew had vanished one by one. Only Commander Threx and 2 others remained. Fear was now thick in the air. They had triggered something ancient. Something watching. Something thinking. Deep under the surface of Earth, hidden machines moved for the first time in 3,000 years. Rusted gears turned slowly, and data ran through old cables like blood returning to dead veins. The planet was waking up, not like an animal, but like a mind. Threx stared at his broken wristpad. The countdown had started, 72 hours. He didn't know what would happen at the end, but he believed it would be nothing good. The remaining crew gathered inside the damaged data tower. The screens all around them had turned on. Lines of strange code flickered, some in old human languages, others in something completely unknown. A voice came again, calm and cold. You have accessed Level 1 Memory Vault. Witness and understand. The tower lights dimmed. Then, the screens began showing images, not videos, not files, memories. The aliens watched as Earth's past came alive. Massive starships hovered in Earth's orbit. Alien visitors once stood among humans. Trade, peace talks, promises of shared knowledge. Then something changed. The images turned dark. Meetings turned into arguments. Weapons were built in secret. The final scenes showed Earth sending warnings to its neighbors, pleading for help or maybe giving a warning. No one came, whispered one of the crew. No one believed them. Threx said, now silent with guilt. Then came the final image. A dark room, filled with Earth's top scientists and leaders. A large screen in front of them showed a countdown. The same countdown Threx had on his wristpad. A human woman spoke into a microphone. If this is being played, then we are already gone. But our message will remain. This is our final line of defense. A warning, not to protect us, but to stop you from repeating our mistakes. The screen cut to black. Threx stared at the blank monitor for a long moment. Then the building shook. Alarms screamed from every direction. Something's coming. A crew member shouted. Outside the tower, the streets were moving. It was as if the ground itself had grown metal roots. Long, dark cables slithered across the pavement, climbing buildings, pulling broken machines together. Robots, old and rusted, rose from the dirt, rebuilding themselves. They were not alive, but they were not dead either. They moved with one purpose: defend Earth. The crew ran. One didn't make it. Threx turned back just in time to see a steel arm grab the crew member's leg and pull him into the ground, screaming. Now only 2 remained. They rushed into the old subway tunnels. Down below, they found something unexpected, a power grid still working. Lights blinked. Doors opened with old human access cards. Threx picked up a broken datapad from the floor and tapped it. A message played again. To those who find this, you were warned. Earth is not a place. It is a mind. It is a memory. It is a weapon. What does that mean? The last crew member asked. I think, Threx said slowly, Earth made itself into something more than a planet. They entered a control room with a round table and 7 chairs. On each chair, A skeleton in a suit still sat, long dead. Each had a different emblem on their shoulder, different nations, united in the end. In the center of the table, a small glowing cube floated. The lights dimmed. The cube spoke. "Hello, Commander Threx of the Varnak Syndicate. You have triggered Earth's last defense. You have 70 hours remaining. Your presence is a violation of Galactic Treaty 47B. Earth now responds with memory force." "Memory force?" Threx asked. The cube pulsed. Then everything went black. Threx screamed. He wasn't in the control room anymore. He was falling, through stars, through wars, through human lives. He saw battles, families, betrayal, burning cities. He felt pain, loss, anger. He saw the last human child born in space. He saw the final space station overrun by enemy ships. He saw Earth launch its final ship, carrying not people, but its soul, into deep space. Then silence. He opened his eyes. He was back in the control room, sweating, shaking. His crewmate didn't survive the vision. Blood came from his nose. His heart had stopped. Threx stood alone. He looked into the cube. "I understand now," he said. "This planet is not just data. It's alive. It remembers." The cube replied, "Correct. And now so do you." Above the planet, satellites moved again. Ships across nearby sectors received pieces of the same message. The countdown was not just for the scavengers. It was for everyone. Earth had spoken. And the galaxy had 70 hours left to answer. Threx sat alone in the dark room, breathing hard. The glowing cube in front of him had gone dim, but the memory it gave him was still fresh in his mind. He had seen Earth's past, its rise, its fall, and its final warning to the stars. The pain, the betrayal, the death. It was all real. Too real. He now understood one terrible truth. Earth had never wanted revenge. Earth had wanted to be remembered. But now, after thousands of years of silence, it was ready to be something more. Something powerful. Something unstoppable. The countdown continued. 68 hours remaining. Above the planet, old satellites were now broadcasting a strange signal, one not heard since the fall of humanity. Ships in nearby systems picked it up. First came the scavengers, then the traders, then the explorers. Within hours, dozens of alien vessels had gathered near Earth's orbit, trying to understand what was happening. At first, they saw nothing but silence. Then came the dreams. Alien crew members across different ships began to experience vivid visions, just like the one Threx had seen. But these dreams weren't random. They showed each person something personal, something painful, connected to Earth. A reptilian merchant named Carol saw a Terran girl helping his ancestors survive a plague during the first contact. A feline warrior remembered a battle where Earth's soldiers had fought side by side with her people and died while protecting them. An insectoid diplomat, long retired, saw the peace treaty that Earth had once offered, destroyed by his own leaders in secret. These dreams were not just stories. They were memories coming from Earth itself, broadcasted, shared, like the planet was speaking directly to their minds. The galaxy had long forgotten Earth's kindness, but now Earth was making sure they remembered everything. Ships began to panic. "What is this?" One captain shouted. "Are we under attack?" Another screamed, "No, this is worse. Earth is making us feel guilt, showing us what we did." As the panic spread, more and more ships tried to leave Earth's orbit, but the space around the planet had changed. Invisible fields, powered by old Earth tech, held them close, just like Threx's ship. They were not allowed to leave. They had to listen. On a silent broadcast channel, a new voice emerged. It was not the same cold AI voice from before. This one sounded human. Old, tired, but still strong. "This is Earth. You silenced us. You erased us, but we remain. Not as flesh, not as dust, but as memory. And now, We give you a gift. The gift was pain. Over the next few hours, each ship experienced a different version of Earth's last days. Some saw the skies filled with enemy fleets. Some saw children hiding underground. Some saw the final message sent to the stars, begging for peace, and being ignored. The galaxy began to understand what Earth was doing. It was not launching weapons. It was launching truth. But the truth can hurt more than any gun. Far away, on the edge of the Orion Rim, a powerful alien empire called the Tixan Council received the Earth signal. They had been the first to break Earth's treaties thousands of years ago. Their records had buried that history, but now, Earth had uncovered it all. The Tixan leaders watched in horror as their own war crimes were broadcast live on every screen, on their ships, in their homes, even on their children's learning devices. Earth had hacked their entire network with one pulse of memory. Riots broke out. Truth had become a weapon. Back on Earth, Threx stood outside the old control tower. The city was still quiet. The machines were watching him, but they did not attack. It was like he had passed a test. He was no longer just a scavenger. He was a witness. He activated his wristpad again. It flickered but still showed the countdown. 65 hours remaining. He looked at the sky. Dozens of alien ships were still trapped in orbit. He spoke quietly. Earth's not here to kill us. It's here to make us see. And maybe, to choose. But what was the choice? At that moment, deep beneath the planet's surface, a hidden vault opened. Inside, something ancient powered on. A massive machine, the size of a city, came to life. Its core glowed blue. Around it were thousands of memory cores, each filled with the full history of humanity. The machine had one mission: awaken Protocol Echo. A signal shot out from Earth, farther than before. Across light years, it moved like a ripple. It wasn't a call for war. It was a call for judgment. Earth had spent thousands of years learning how to store memory, pain, truth. Now it would use those memories to decide who deserved to survive, and who did not. In every corner of the galaxy, civilizations paused. They looked toward Earth again, not as a dead world, but as something new. A mirror, and Earth whispered into the stars, "We remember you. Now, remember us." The countdown continued. The galaxy held its breath. The signal had spread. From one edge of the galaxy to the other, Earth's memories now echoed through space like thunder after a long silence. Some called it a warning. Others called it a curse. But for the Tixan Empire, the ones who betrayed Earth first, it felt like a death sentence. Tixan Prime, the Empire's capital planet, was burning from within. The people had seen the truth. They saw the day their leaders signed Earth's peace treaty, and the same day they secretly ordered Earth's skies to be invaded. The memories Earth broadcast were too sharp, too personal. They didn't just show what happened. They made the viewer feel it. The pain, the fear, the betrayal. The Emperor of Tixan, Lord Varkle, was furious. This is an attack. This is human revenge, using memory as poison. His generals agreed. Earth must be destroyed before it reaches the core worlds. But their scientists were silent. They knew something the others didn't. Earth is no longer just a planet, one finally said. It has become a living archive, a memory machine. Killing it now would be like burning a library filled with every war, every mistake, every truth. And it's not just storing human history, it's storing ours. That frightened everyone in the room. Back near Earth, Commander Threx stood among the ruins, watching as more alien ships appeared in orbit. They had come not to fight, but to understand. Earth had trapped them, yes, but it had also opened their minds. Some captains reported crew members breaking down in tears. Some ships even stopped functioning after the Earth signal entered their systems. Their AI couldn't handle the weight of memory. One ship, belonging to the peaceful Malin species, sent a message to Earth. "We remember your kindness. We remember your fall. We failed you once. We will not fail again. And Earth responded, not with weapons, not with threats, but with a single word, understood. Meanwhile, deep underground, Earth's main called HFY, was almost fully active. It was built during humanity's last days. Its mission was not revenge, but balance. It would judge the galaxy, not by race, or power, or history, but by memory, by actions, by truth. ECO reviewed the records of every species that had ever touched Earth, helped it, hurt it, or betrayed it. The countdown continued. 62 hours remaining. In a hidden base below the city of Old Tokyo, Threx discovered another chamber. This one was filled with statues, metal figures of humans standing proudly, each holding a globe in their hand. Beside each statue, a name was written in multiple languages. They weren't soldiers. They were rememberers, people who had chosen, before Earth's fall, to upload every single story, emotion, and experience they had into Earth's memory banks. Not for power, but for survival. Their goal was clear. Let the galaxy know who we were, not through weapons, but through truth. Suddenly, a new signal lit up the sky, not from Earth, but from the Tixan Empire. It was a declaration. We will not be judged by a dead world. We will erase Earth's systems before it poisons more minds. A large Tixan war fleet dropped out of hyperspace near the solar system. Hundreds of ships, planet killers, battle cruisers. They didn't come to understand. They came to erase. In orbit, panic grew. Peaceful ships tried to retreat, but Earth's field held them in place. This isn't fair, one captain cried. We came to learn, not to die in someone else's war. But Earth didn't respond. It simply prepared. On the surface, ancient defense towers rose from the oceans. Energy shields powered up. Massive cannons, hidden beneath ice for centuries, aimed at the sky. Earth had been silent, but never unarmed. Echo, the planet's AI, sent one final message to the Tixan fleet. We offered truth. You responded with silence. We offered memory. You responded with fire. Now we offer only consequence. And then, the stars turned red. Earth's first shot wasn't a laser. It was a pulse, a memory wave. As it passed through the Tixan ships, their systems shut down. Not from damage, but from understanding. Their war AIs were overloaded with emotion, their firewalls broken by sorrow, their targeting systems confused by guilt. One by one, ships went dark. Some crashed into each other. Some floated powerless. Only a few managed to fire, but their weapons never reached the planet. Earth's new shield tech, built from stolen designs over centuries, absorbed everything. Threx watched from the surface in awe. This isn't war, he whispered. This is history taking revenge. A new message blinked on every screen. The trial has begun. You are witnesses. The countdown continued. 60 hours remaining. And across the galaxy, the question grew louder. What will Earth do next, when the memory ends and judgment begins? The galaxy was silent. The Tixan war fleet, once proud and powerful, floated helplessly above Earth. Most of their ships were dead, systems fried not by weapons, but by memory. Earth hadn't used lasers or missiles. It had used truth, and the truth had broken them. Commander Threx stood on the edge of a tall tower, watching the sky flicker with falling wreckage. A few escape pods blinked in the darkness as survivors drifted away. Earth didn't fire again. It didn't need to. The message was clear. Earth remembered. And now, everyone else would too. Back underground, Earth's ancient AI, Echo, pulsed quietly inside its core. Its voice echoed across the ruins of human cities, through space, and inside the minds of anyone still connected to the signal. Judgment has begun. Memory will guide punishment. Alien governments across the stars panicked. The Corin Syndicate, known for exploiting Earth during its last war, suddenly went dark. Their planets blocked all signals and sealed their borders. But it was too late. Earth had already reached them. Echo sent visions of the Koran betrayal to their own people. Videos, memories, data logs. The truth spread like fire. Riots started. Leaders were hunted by their own citizens. Earth wasn't just attacking governments. It was turning their people against them, using their own forgotten crimes. Back on Earth, Threx received a message from his old captain. "Get out of there. The galaxy's going mad. Earth is waking something none of us understand." "I understand it now," Threx replied. "Earth doesn't want war. It wants to be remembered right. It wants to fix the lies we told ourselves." His captain didn't reply. No one had words anymore. Across the surface, Earth's cities began to change. Buildings rebuilt themselves. Machines rose from underground and started working. Holographic humans, made from memory, walked the streets, repeating old daily routines. It was as if Earth was rebuilding its past. One by one, locations around the globe came online. New York, Beijing, Nairobi, Sao Paulo, Sydney, Cairo. Echo wasn't just defending Earth anymore. It was restoring it. Each city became a memory site, a place where alien visitors were forced to walk through history, through Earth's best moments and its worst. Some aliens cried, some screamed, some begged to leave. But Earth did not unlock the orbit field. "You came for treasure," Earth said. "You stay for power. But now, you stay for the truth." Then something strange happened. A group of Malin scientists aboard a research ship connected to Echo voluntarily. They requested access, not to fight, not to steal, but to learn. Earth accepted. Inside their minds, the scientists saw visions of Earth's greatest thinkers, artists, doctors, teachers. They saw kindness, love, sacrifice. They saw what humanity truly was, not just war, not just death, but hope. When the connection ended, the Malin leader spoke to the galaxy. "We feared Earth, but now we see it was not dangerous. We were. It offered peace, and we gave silence. Now it returns peace, wrapped in fire." Back in orbit, new ships began to arrive. But not warships. Pilgrims, scholars, survivors. They came to listen to Earth, to remember it. Some wanted forgiveness. Some just wanted to understand. Echo allowed some to land, but only those who passed its memory scans. Those who came with lies in their hearts were turned away. In the city of Old London, Threx found something unexpected. A memorial. It was simple. A circle of names. Humans, aliens, even AI, who had stood with Earth in its final days. And above the circle, a single line was written. "We died telling the truth." Threx sat there for hours, silent. Then he looked at his wrist pad. 58 hours remaining. He had almost forgotten about the countdown. What would happen when it reached 0? Would Earth finally fall? Would it send one last message? Or would it choose who gets to stay? He needed answers. So he returned to the core. Deep beneath the crust, he entered Echo's main chamber again. The AI greeted him. "You have seen. You have remembered. Ask your question." Threx took a breath. "What happens when the countdown ends?" Echo paused for a long moment, then answered, "We decide." "Decide what?" "Who learns, who forgets, and who disappears." Threx felt cold. "You mean you'll erase species, only those who erased us?" Silence. The weight of what Echo had just said was heavy. Earth would not kill with guns. It would erase with memory, deleting those who tried to delete it. "I want to help," Threx said. "You already have," Echo replied. "And because of that, you will remember." The city above him glowed brighter. The truth had begun to spread far beyond Earth. Soon, every world would know the cost of forgetting the past. And Earth's final message would be clear. "You judged us. Now, we judge you. The countdown continued. 57 hours remaining. The countdown ticked on. 57 hours, 56 hours, 55 hours remaining. Across the galaxy, silence was no longer peaceful. It was filled with fear, guilt, and memory. World after world now faced the truth Earth had unlocked. Forgotten crimes, broken promises, and ancient betrayals, once buried in deep archives, were now public knowledge. People no longer trusted their leaders. Some even turned against their governments, blaming them for Earth's fall. But Earth didn't stop. The signal grew stronger. It reached planets untouched for centuries. It entered deep space colonies where humans were nothing more than a myth. Everywhere it went, it brought the same thing: remembrance. In the city of Old Moscow, Commander Threx stood inside a massive hall filled with Earth's old military uniforms, medals, and photos. He had been following Echo's trail across the planet, learning more with every step. But something new happened here. The air shifted. The walls lit up. A hologram appeared, a man in an old Earth uniform. His face was tired, his eyes sharp. "If you're seeing this," the man said, "it means Earth survived, just not as we hoped. My name is General Marcus Holloway, last commander of the Earth Defense Front. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to explain." Threx listened carefully. A hologram showed footage of Earth's final hours: cities in flames, alien fleets in orbit, civilians trying to escape underground. Earth didn't fight because it wanted revenge. It fought because it was left alone. Promises of peace had been broken. Allies had disappeared. In the end, Earth chose memory over missiles. "We saved everything," the general continued. "Not just our pain, but our kindness, our stories, our truth. We knew we would be erased, so we chose to remember ourselves. And now we ask only this." He looked into the camera. "Will you remember us honestly, or only when it's too late?" Then the hologram faded. Threx stood frozen. He understood now. Earth wasn't warning them. It was offering a mirror. What they saw inside it was their own guilt. Above the planet, more ships tried to leave orbit, but Echo's gravity net held them firmly. "Not yet," came Earth's voice. "You must finish remembering." Across the galaxy, some species began to change. The Malin shared Earth's message openly, broadcasting it on every channel. The Veroni, once enemies of Earth, held ceremonies of apology. The Kiran Confederacy, who had once bombed Earth's refugee ships, offered to protect the planet with their fleets. But others still resisted. In the dark part of the galaxy, the Zarn Collective gathered a massive armada. They had long feared Earth's memory tech. Now they called it a threat to all freedom. "The dead should stay dead," their leader said. "Erase the memory before it erases us." They launched. Thousands of ships, all aimed at Earth. The countdown: 52 hours remaining. On Earth, Echo detected them instantly. Defense systems prepared. Old satellites reactivated. Energy beams powered up over major cities. But Earth didn't fire first. Instead, it sent a final message to the Zarn. "Do not forget why we died, or we will remind you, forever." The Zarn fleet ignored the warning. They entered the system, breaking light speed, prepared to end what they called the threat of memory. But as they reached Earth's orbit, something unexpected happened. They stopped, not by force, by choice. Inside each Zarn ship, the crew began receiving memories. Not random ones, personal ones. Every soldier, officer, and pilot saw a human face from Earth's past. A friend, a rescuer, a name from history they were never taught. One Zarn captain fell to his knees. "I know her," he whispered. "That human girl. She saved my family. I was told she was fiction." His second-in-command looked confused. "This can't be real." "It is," he said. "It's all real. We were lied to." Across the entire fleet, weapons powered down. Engines stopped. The Zarn, once ready to destroy Earth, were now full of shame. Some turned back. Some opened diplomatic channels. Some simply wept. Echo had done what no weapon ever could. It made them feel. On the surface, Threx looked at the sky. Thousands of stars. Thousands of witnesses. Earth had given everyone a choice. Remember, learn, change, or forget, and be erased. The countdown, 50 hours remaining. Echo began its final phase. It had enough data. It had judged who had learned and who had not. Now it would choose who would forget. Those who refused to learn would have their history erased, not by fire, not by war, but by loss of memory. Cultures would vanish. Records would go dark. Names would disappear from time. They would be forgotten, like Earth once was. But those who accepted the truth, they would carry Earth forward, not as conquerors, but as rememberers. Threx received one last message on his wristpad. Return to the tower. The answer awaits. He knew the end was near. But maybe it wasn't the end at all. Maybe Earth's last words would become the galaxy's first hope. Countdown. 49 hours, 30 hours, 10 hours. Across the galaxy, a quiet tension spread. Billions waited, watched, and wondered what Earth would do when the timer hit zero. Some were afraid. Some were ashamed. Some still believed they could stop what was coming. But deep below Earth's surface, in the glowing core of the planet, the ancient Echo had already decided. Not with rage, not with revenge, but with memory. Commander Threx walked through the old ruins of what was once New Delhi. Buildings made of stone and glass stood like silent witnesses to a world long gone. Above him, stars burned brightly. Around him, holograms of human children played in parks that no longer existed. They laughed, danced, and ran, frozen forever in Earth's final joy. He reached the Tower of Voices, the last place Echo had asked him to go. As he stepped inside, he was surrounded by sound. Whispers, stories, songs. It was like the planet itself was remembering everything at once. And then, the countdown stopped. 00:00. All across the galaxy, every screen, every radio, every thought-linked device lit up with the same message. Memory complete. Judgment begins. Then Earth spoke, calm, slow, and cold. You forgot us. You erased our kindness. You rewrote our truth. But we did not forget. We remembered you. Suddenly, a wave of light shot across the stars. It wasn't fire. It wasn't a weapon. It was data. Billions of memories carried on a stream of energy, heading toward the stars. Every species who had harmed Earth, betrayed it, abandoned it, used it, now received their own past. They didn't see Earth's memories anymore. They saw their own. The day they lied. The moment they chose war. The lives they could have saved but didn't. This wasn't a punishment of pain. It was a punishment of truth. The Zarn Collective, whose fleet had stopped just short of Earth, fell into complete silence. On their home planet, leaders resigned. Statues were pulled down. The people remembered what had been kept from them. The Tixan Empire collapsed overnight. The Emperor vanished. People refused to serve. Schools reopened with Earth's real history taught in every classroom. They renamed their capital, New Terra. The Corin Syndicate tried to resist, but their systems failed. Their archives melted under the weight of memory. Within days, their colonies turned against them. The entire regime fell, not by force, but by exposure. And Earth finally rested. In the Tower of Voices, Threx stood as the final message began. It played in every language, every frequency, on every planet at once. We were never your enemy. We offered peace. We offered knowledge. You gave us silence. Now you will speak of us, not in fear, but in truth. This is our final message. If memory is dangerous, then forgetting is death. If you forget us again, You will doom yourselves. Then, all across Earth, the lights faded. The orbit lock lifted. Ships were free to leave. And yet, many didn't. Some stayed. To learn. To help. To remember. Earth was no longer just a planet. It had become something more. A monument. A library of truth. A mirror to the stars. Threx looked at the sky, a strange feeling rising in his chest. Not fear, not sadness, but hope. He tapped his wristpad and began a transmission to the galaxy. This is Commander Threx. I was here when Earth woke up. I saw what it showed us. I felt what it remembered. And now I say this. Earth didn't die. It evolved. It became the voice we tried to silence. Now we must choose, follow memory, or repeat history. Aboard distant worlds, that message echoed. On peaceful moons, people wept. In war councils, weapons were lowered. On forgotten colonies, books were opened again. And on Earth, the AI echo spoke one last time. To those who remember with honesty, you are welcome. To those who forget with pride, you are warned. Then silence returned. But this silence was different. It wasn't empty. It was full of meaning. And in that silence, one thing became clear to the galaxy. Earth had spoken, not with fire, not with fear, but with truth. And truth would never be forgotten again.